The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Welcome. You have decided to favor strength over the lie the Jedi call peace. Kneel. Pledge your allegiance to the dark side of the Force, and your first lesson shall begin. Learning the legacy of the Sith is of utmost importance, for the mistakes of the Sith have been all but made. Reflecting on the errors and victories of the past shall bring foresight in the path you choose. Rise. Let us begin with the Legend of Darth Bane. Darth Bane, a powerful Force-sensitive being born on the Outer Rim mining planet of Apatros. Darth Bane's given name was Dessel, but he was referred to as Bane by Hurst, his father. His father blamed Dessel for the death of his mother, who passed during childbirth. It caused much resentment and hate between the two. Hurst accumulated a great deal of debt to the mining guild, which was near impossible to pay off, as his gambling and drinking took priority. When Dessel became old enough, he began working in the mines with his father. Hurst did not make any effort to hide that he despised his own son. The hate spilled over to the other miners, causing Dessel to live in a constant state of rage and torment. Until one night, while his father was in a drunken state, continuously abusing Dessel, threshold of anger had exceeded, and Dessel challenged his father's virility. Dessel was beat in an inch of his life. As he lay in bed, unable to sleep from the sheets grazing his wound, he imagined a hand of darkness wrapping around his father's heart, tightening and squeezing the life from it. Laying in darkness, Dessel's passion, Dessel's anger, unknowingly tapped into the raw power of the dark side of the Force. Waking up the next morning, Dessel discovered his father's lifeless body. Unaware at the time, his calling on the dark side energies is what killed him. Dessel continued to work as he had debt to pay off to escape Apatros. Hate towards Dessel had far from dissipated, as Hurst's hate was so strong, the other miners would still torment Dessel. One day, after a long shift, Dessel was attacked by another miner. During the fight, the miner pulled a knife. In a counterattack from the knife jab, Dessel bit the miner's thumb clear off his hand. Dessel was suspended from work. Due to the lack of income, Dessel decided to gamble. Unknowingly, he used the dark side to influence the other players, intimidating them while using the Force to draw the cards he needed to win. Dessel won an unlikely high-stakes bet against an officer of the Republic, which caused the cantina to nearly burst into a fight. Luckily, Dessel did have one friend, who happened to be the bartender. Quickly, the bartender acted by closing the cantina down and allowing Dessel to stay for a bit longer. Upon leaving, Dessel was attacked by the officer. In self-defense, Dessel killed the officer, while two of the fellow officers watched. Dessel knew no one would believe a miner over an officer, so he had to escape. He was able to join the army of the Sith, which were at war with the Republic. Serving in the Sith Wars, Dessel quickly became sergeant in a unit known as the Gloom Walkers. The Force had helped to keep Dessel safe and victorious in his mission. One mission, Eulabor, the unit's commander, was fearful of informing the Sith Lord of an oversight which would have cost the unit their lives. Dessel tried convincing his commanding officer, but he was refused. Dessel knocked him out, took lead, and successfully completed the mission at a more opportune time. Upon Dessel's return to base, he was arrested. Dessel was eventually brought before the Sith Lord Copex. They spoke, and Copex could sense Dessel's dark powers. He did not ridicule or reprimand Dessel. In fact, Dessel was praised with much gratitude. Lord Copex then gave Dessel the choice of rejoining the Gloom Walkers or traveling to the planet of Corbin to join the Brotherhood of Darkness. Without a second thought, Dessel died to his old life and his old name, and was reborn as Bane. embracing the name that once tormented him. Bane joined the Sith Order and quickly proved himself. He had private lessons with some of the strongest teachers, as they could sense his passion and power. After finding the holocron of Darth Raven, he learned the old ways of the Sith. He believed a cleansing of the dark side was in order. Believing that the Brotherhood of Darkness's philosophy of all the Sith being equal was weakening the Order. Bane then took the title of Darth, which the Brotherhood of Darkness chose to avoid as to not start more infighting. Darth Bane believed the power of the dark side was far too spread out amongst weak Sith. He believed in the rule of two, a master and an apprentice, one to embrace the power and one to crave it. When the apprentice would be ready, they shall kill the master, taking the title and responsibility of Sith Master. Darth Bane was undoubtedly the most powerful Sith out of hundreds in the Brotherhood of Darkness. So it was easy when he manipulated them. The Sith Lords carried out a dark, dangerous spell under the orders of Darth Bane. They created a thought bomb, believing that they themselves might be shielded from the explosion. A fatal mistake. Hundreds of Jedi and all of the Sith perished, locking their souls for eternity in a vortex of anguish. All except Darth Bane. Bane's survival meant now he needed to fulfill the rule of two by finding an apprentice. Darth Bane came across a young orphan girl who in her rage murdered 2 young Jedi. From that moment he knew she was the one, and she would become Darth Zana. Bane was led into a trap by a Dark Lord whose spirit was able to escape the vortex created by the thought bomb. Darth Bane was bit by a parasitic creature called an obelisk, which attached itself to his skin. It was painful, while at the same time providing supernatural abilities the Sith were unable to manifest. Bane's body in constant agony caused pain to fuel his hate and rage. The obelisk eventually overtook his entire body, except for Bane's hands, eyes, and mouth, by his own preventative measures. The symbiotic armor was strong enough to shield his body from even a lightsaber blade. In an effort to save Bane's life, years later, the armor was removed, as instructed by Darth Zana. In the way the armor once kept his body constantly healing, he now felt as if he was falling apart. Darth Bane from then on would stay hidden, having others travel to see him for business. Eventually, Darth Bane decided that Zana was waiting too long to take her place. A decade had passed from when the armor was removed. Bane believed that if Zana were to wait to attack him when he was powerless, then it would be an undeserving victory. Bane began to search for the holocron of Darth Endedu to learn the way of eternal life. After Bane learned the power of essence transfer, he found another who would pledge herself to the ways of the dark side, Darth Conquest. Bane knew it was time to face Zana, a face-off of sorcery versus brute strength. Bane was overpowered by Zana's dark magic. In his final moments, Bane transferred his essence into Zana. But when the battle in her mind was over, Zana stood the new master of the Sith. Darth Bane set in order the rule of two, the order which would kill the Jedi, allowing the Sith to rule the galaxy once more. The first lesson to meditate on is not in the life of Darth Bane and his glories, yet for what gave him the power, the will to set in motion a plan which a millennium later would destroy the Jedi. Patience. To be a Sith Lord, you must not just have patience, but master it. For the folly of a fast hand may win a fight, but a battle is won with many. Meditate on this, Dark Lord. Meditate on what kind of Sith you will become. If you would like more Holocron messages, please hit like and subscribe below. The Force is strong with you, young Sith apprentice.